Hello, everyone, and welcome to SmashBoxxTV's podcast 229. Terry Miller, the disc golf guy, along with Johnny V. 229 do anything for you?
229. 229. Not really.
It should. It should.
229.
That's the funny part.
Ah.
When you and I, along with a handful of others,
okay,
lived in the dorms at UW Milwaukee. I don't know if it's it's not a prefix, is it? I guess kind of the 3-digit prefix.
The phone number.
For the phone number, everything inside. I think it was at all of UWM actually. At UW Milwaukee was 229.
Correct. That is very true. And once you started saying it, it clicked.
I saw your gears trying to turn.
I can't wait until we get to 1560.
Yes,
which was your dorm room number.
Yes.
I do recall that. And
yes.
We will, at that point, we'll both be elderly men. We may not even remember what 1560 is.
I'll definitely remember.
Well, it's been 3 years we've been doing this. 4 years we've been doing this.
Okay.
We're at 229. We're going to 1560, Terry.
That's 7 times 4, 28 more years?
28 more years. Okay. I hope I'm, yes, we're almost 70. Hope I'm not that senile by then. Hope I still remember my good old college days.
We definitely won't be getting to the end of my phone number, which was 7485. 229-7485. That was my dorm suite phone number.
I don't remember mine. I never used that phone.
I feel like if I thought about it long enough, I would remember yours. But so that's what it was. Yeah, so there's some old school history. For those things that are actually like on a wall, you'd pick them up. They were phones. We used those. And our dorm room days were 96, 97, 98, somewhere around that time frame. I got my first
99.
cell phone in 99. And so, as you're saying, that transition from room phones to actual cell phones, that still even took place at the end of our college days.
I remember sweating buying minutes for the phone. Like, you had to buy minutes for these phone calls that you didn't have for long distance. And, long distance for us was home.
Yeah.
So I recall never calling home, basically. I just never did it. And I would more or less contact them via email and say, hey, I'll be home for Thanksgiving. Hey, maybe I'll be home for Christmas.
So real quickly, I would like to, before we wrap up this very insightful disc golf conversation.
Nostalgia.
Speaking of cell phones, I think back to mine with Sprint, 1999. My first ever cell phone play. Now, please think about this for just a moment. If some of you are older, you may appreciate this. My very first cell phone plan was 150 anytime minutes, and Sprint started at 7 at the time, which
7
was
p.m.
7 p.m. to 7 a.m. So Sprint started at 7, 150 anytime minutes, and 250. I feel like it was 250 daytime and then 100, or was it vice versa? Maybe 150 daytime and 250. Either way, it was 150 and 250. You had a total of 400 minutes on a cellular plan, and that was kind of a standard plan at the time for the entire month. Sprint won me over and kept me for many, many years because they had the first incoming minute free. So someone could call. I'd always say, call me.
Yeah.
If somebody called and said, hey, I'm coming over, or hey, let's blah, 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 I would keep it to under a minute.
And then hang up.
And then make sure you hang up because that first incoming minute was always free.
Oh, jeez.
So if that doesn't date us when it comes to cellular technology, I don't know what does. Maybe in the after show, we'll talk about the funny stuff I saw about AT&T scamming or lying about 5G.
Geez, yeah.
We'll talk about that in the
whole
after show.
Statement.
So, Terry Miller along with, again, Johnny V, 229. Amazing where that number takes us. Tonight should be a great show. As always, we promise you one. We don't always deliver, but tonight will be. We're going to bring you Dustin Leatherman. He's going to be talking a little bit about Eagles Wings and the grant program and some other exciting stuff as they're heading off to Zambia in just a few days. So we're going to talk to him actually in just a few minutes and get some updates there, as we've always gleefully backed and supported and promoted everything that those guys have going on. It sounds like such a great program and so many good things happening. And then that's kind of a perfect segue, because then we're also going to catch up with a recipient of not only a brand new car that he won a few months ago, but he was also an Eagles Wings grant recipient. So obviously getting him started off on the right foot. Silas Schultz, along with his sister Esther, are going to be joining us. We're going to get a few details. Esther's going to Zambia, leaving on Friday, so it kind of all ties together perfectly. And then if we have all of our lines uncrossed finally, I believe we're going to then have Sarah Hokum. She's been everywhere, and we're going to keep that train rolling. Sarah Hokum's going to join us, talk probably a little bit about what we're going to see from her in 2019 as she has transitioned over to being an MVP-sponsored player. So all of those things going on.
We have some housekeeping things I want to quickly touch on before we get Dustin on the line. First and foremost, big hug goes out to Dana Mitvicci. He won't be here with us tonight. His grandmother passed away. So big hug out to Dana there. Everybody here's thinking about you. And moving on from that, we talked a little bit quickly about our Patreon, actually. We've started, I know a lot of you people who are Patreon members got a message from me, and I just want to let everyone know that we have a new Patreon level. It was always the $1, the $2, the $3, the $5. We now have a $10 level.
What? Why would I give you $10?
Well, let me tell you, Terry. $10. You know what that will get you?
Tell me, Johnny, what could that get me?
$10 will get you a quarterly t-shirt.
What?
Yeah. So what you're going to get is I've got our great Smashy, Tim Quartz, working on some designs for us. And what's going to happen is every 3 months, we're going to work with Paragon, and we're going to get your t-shirt size, and we're going to ship you out a unique shirt. It'll be different every month, new design. I'm sorry, every month, every quarter, and we're going to get the first 4 of them set up and get those out to you. And then I will send Miles that information, and he'll fulfill that for us. So we don't have to do the shipping, because if it relies on us to do the shipping, then we have issues. But thankfully, our good friends over at Paragon, Miles T-shirts, Miles Park Hill, whatever you want to go, whatever he goes by this week, he'll be doing that for us. So you're going to get the 4 shirts a year. You will also still get the disc. You'll get all the other rewards that are available to you. And yeah, I just wanted to throw that there. And so some of these shirts are going to be exclusive for our Patreon supporters. So we will never sell them. You'll never see them, anywhere else. Some of them we will probably order some extra of if they're a little nicer. I mean, let's face it. When there's trying to think of a fun thing that we've done, we'll just say like a Smashbox exclusive shirt, that could be something only patrons get. It could be something we sell. I don't know. But it'll probably be about 2 a year we'll hold just for patrons. They'll be the only ones that'll ever receive those. So just so that's out there, you can sign up at patreon.com/SmashBoxxTV. If you find value in what we have here, feel free to throw us a buck or so. Just order that. Don't order the Grande coffee from Starbucks this month. Or order the, what's the size under
Vente?
that? The Vente?
I have no idea.
Me neither. I don't go to Starbucks. I just know that their coffees cost like $12. So my wife goes there. But yeah, so that's kind of our housekeeping stuff this week.
All right. Well, so as you can see, that's going to bust out on Patreon. That's patreon.com/SmashBoxxTV. So, and thank you. I know there's been a number of people that have gotten interested in that and seen some of the other things that we're offering. We appreciate every one of you for supporting us in at any level.
Correct. And one other actual housekeeping thing. Tomorrow night, I should be recording first episode of a new podcast with AJ Risley.
What?
Yeah, it is. I don't even have a name for it yet. It's not going to be broadcast live yet. We're going to kind of just get on a call and talk, and it's going to be more of a fun podcast. We're not going to talk about disc golf hardly at all. I'm going to sit and give people in the sport, in the industry, those wonderful, insightful, deep, meaningful BuzzFeed quizzes.
Oh, wow. You're really...
I mean, we're going to dig in.
You're really...
I want to know what emoji AJ Risley identifies with. It's really a fun way, just we can kind of maybe start a little conversation, get a little backstory, just in general, talk to some of these guys that doesn't involve any promotion, any sort of anything like that, and just get to know that. So the plan for that is probably do 3 quizzes with AJ. Each one should probably take 10 to 15 minutes, 2 of which will go up for everybody. It's going to be a standard. It'll be in our Smashbox feed. The third one will only go to patron supporters.
Oh.
So Patreon supporters will get the entire quote-unquote podcast. Everybody else is going to get those first two. And so if you're interested in that, I might release, hopefully we'll release in a couple weeks. I want to get a couple under our belt first. I talked to Madison Walker about doing it. She's gung-ho. AJ Risley. Madison. There's a long, funny story about Madison and trying to get a hold of her.
There's a lot of long, funny stories.
AJ Risley. We're talking to maybe some of the other pros that we can hopefully tie down and just, if they have an hour of their time, sit and have a little fun.
Sounds like a good idea.
I think it is. So if you want to support that, you can do that at Patreon as well.
All right. Well, and speaking of other medias, today, I mean, about as big as they get. He's out of the country, I believe, at the moment. I think he's traveling somewhere. Bobby Brown, Cool Daddy Slick Breeze.
Happy birthday.
Big fan. Always have been. Always will be. Both him and another podcast icon, Murder Mike, Michael Castillo, celebrating a birthday today as well.
I thought
So
Murder's
happy.
was yesterday.
I'm pretty sure it's
Is it today?
No, it's today. It's
Okay.
today. He made a big deal about it. He does that. That's cute. And then also in the media news, because I saw it a day or two ago, Jonathan Gomez also celebrated a birthday a couple days ago. I believe he was even at the some football game where
Cowboys.
Cowboy people run around. So happy birthday to him as well. All obviously outstanding individuals that help push all of our disc golf media forward. So happy birthday to all those peeps and then some. What a day it falls on. I mean, it would have made sense to have Murder and Bobby Brown. I mean, if that's not a combo that we should have here on their birthday night.
It's too bad Bobby's in Panama right now.
That guy.
Panama.
Simmer down, David Lee Roth. All right. I'm not sure if Dustin's around, but if he is, I think we can
We're dialing them up right now.
him up and see if we can get a few details of what's going on before they get packed for Zambia. I keep thinking about all of those efforts. I know we talked about going to Zambia, having to pack along the discs, the baskets, all that other stuff.
On top of all your stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Not for a heavy packer like myself. All right. Are we almost ready?
We're almost ready. I'm going to do one more thing.
Johnny's going to click a button, and just like that, we're going to have Dustin and Hannah joining us. I'm getting so nervous watching you click those buttons.
I know. I just want to center them up.
Oh my gosh, you're so good at this.
All right, there we go. Ready? Here we go.
Welcome.
Hey.
Hey guys.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Great. How you doing?
Good.
We are doing well.
All right. So let's quickly start with like what 72-ish or 90 some hours or something heading to Zambia. Are you packed?
I am.
I'm packed. I have yet to start packing, so.
Yeah.
Are you guys one of those couples that one could pack for the other and you would leave complete trust in that, or no? Like
No.
if you said, I'm going away for the weekend, I'm going to a tournament, or I'm going to my cousins, or I'm going somewhere without you or with you, could you leave the other one to pack a bag?
I could, yes.
Yeah.
So you would trust her?
But I could not. I could not.
Okay.
I'm the better packer.
You're what?
I'm a better packer than Dustin.
In terms of efficiency or in terms of the actual wants and needs?
Well, he forgets things sometimes. And he
Wants and
also
needs.
doesn't pack very much, so.
I mean, that's what would make it easier for him to rely on you. It's like, what? I got,
Exactly.
you know,
Yeah, he's
I got
super
one or two
minimal.
pair of underwear. I got a T-shirt and
Yeah.
shorts. I'm good to go.
Yeah, exactly. He'd be really easy to pack for.
Beach life, man. Beach life. All right. So you guys have some exciting stuff going on. Of course, heading off to Zambia. How many days again?
We're leaving Friday afternoon. So we have Esther Schultz is flying in tomorrow night. She's spending Thursday with us, and then we are flying out Friday. And then the team will fly out the following weekend and join us a week later.
Wow. And you'll be there for, in total, how many days?
We will be there. We'll be going Friday through the 30th. So we'll be there like almost 3 weeks for Hannah and I. The team will be there about 10 days.
Okay.
And then Esther will be there for 3 months.
Yeah, that's, holy cow, that's incredible. And I think we probably covered it last time, but that's probably how many, 3, 4, 5 flights? How many flights ultimately will it take you to get there?
We have 3 flights lined up. We're headed from Tampa to DC, and then we go to Johannesburg, and then Livingston, and then drive from there. So.
Okay. All right. Well, good luck on all of that. So we've had you guys a number of times talking about a lot of different initiatives and awards given and awards being offered and all sorts of stuff. Tell us where we're at right now. What time of the season is it? Besides Girl Scout cookie time.
Yeah, so in addition to the Zambia trip, tomorrow we go live for our 3rd junior grant. So we're really excited about that. And this year we got some cool news. We have a couple additional sponsors, which we can lay out, but we also decided for the longevity of the grant to partner with Kids Disc Golf. So they've been a really cool organization to work with. We've got to know them through USJDGC and some other initiatives, and we are decided to share the program with them. So we'll have joint ownership. They'll help us make it better for the future, and we feel like they got a good heartbeat on what's going on with the kids these days, and we feel like they're going to be a really good partner. And then also, last year when we were on, we announced that Nate Doss had joined us. He had joined us a little bit late, but added a ton to the grant, and he is doing all that again. So we're looking at him as not just a sponsor, but a partner for the grant as well. So really excited about that because we feel like it'll really allow us to do it even farther in the future.
Wow. And so break down the specifics to the grant, who's eligible, what they need to do, what's even on the line, and how many might be recipients.
Yeah, sure. So we are going to open up applications tomorrow. You can get them on the Eagles Wings Disc Golf website homepage or the Kids Disc Golf website homepage as well. So it's very visible there. And we will take applications through February 9th is that date. And any junior player that is planning on playing Junior Worlds or USJDGC is eligible to apply, aside from past grant winners. So you got to be brand new to the grant, and anybody from there is eligible. And what it entails is, I'm going to read it so I don't miss anything. We will pay their entry fee to either Junior Worlds or USJDGC, whichever one they determine they're going to, or whichever one they want. They'll get a minimum of $100 towards travel expenses, which is a big part of Nate Doss there. We'll do a grant winner dinner there in Emporia. They get a pair of Keen shoes, compliments of Nate. They get a Nate and Val Tour Series disc, again, compliments of Nate. Dynamic Disc is going to make a Dymax with all the grant winners' names on it and sell them with proceeds going to the grant winners. They'll get a few of those as well. Paragon's going to make a custom jersey for them again. UDisc is giving them the membership along with everybody that applies. Whale Sacks and Whale Pants are on board again with Tina and Eric. They're going to give a disc and a whale sack. They'll get the Kids Disc Golf membership. They'll get a $50 gift card to Disc Baron, an Innova VIP card, Upper Park pinch bag. New sponsor this year, Will Schustrick's going to do one of his online lessons with them. And then they also get an autographed disc from Avery Jenkins as well. And we have a few more sponsors lined up. We actually, right before we came on here, I got a video from one of our past junior grant winners, Wyatt Mahoney. Really awesome kid, sponsored by Dynamic Discs now. World champ from last year, made a putt on the last hole to win it, which was really cool. And he sent me a video saying he wants to sponsor each junior grant winner $25 for money that he saved up. So really awesome. And we got a few other couple touring pros that we're talking about possibly getting involved. And yeah, we'll just keep adding to it, and we're excited about it. And we're going to pick 6 winners again this year. And our hope with adding Kids Disc Golf and Nate for the future is we'll be able to extend it, maybe offer some different tiers, and maybe offer some more things to additional winners next year.
Awesome. So a ton of different assets that can help out in addition to paying an entry fee, which obviously is one of the significant burdens in terms of traveling.
Travel itself.
Yeah, the actual assistance with some travel expenses in cold hard cash, and then obviously a lot of other pieces on top of that. How many recipients have you had before starting this year's campaign?
Yeah, so we've had 10 total winners. So 2 years ago, we started off and we had 4 grant winners. And then last year we had 6. So we'll add 6 to that this year. So we're actually, last year, the junior grant winner dinner was really awesome. We had both years came. Most of them were there, families. So this year we're looking at, possibly having 16 kids there, siblings, parents. So really looking forward to that.
So it's kind of like
these kids are awesome. I mean, they're amazing to watch play disc golf, but they're all awesome kids as well. They have great personalities, and they do a lot for the sport. So it was really fun interacting with them at Junior Worlds.
Kind of like a little champions club. I feel like they all need their own jacket. Like, I'm a junior grant winner. Like,
they just outgrow it. I mean, what's the point?
But they can hand it down to the next one year after year.
That's true.
No, that is really awesome. And one of your recipients, one of the grant recipients, is going to be joining us. I think he's made plenty of news and splash with his play in Silas. How incredible is that? Going on to win one of the largest, if not the largest, prize of all time in disc golf.
It's awesome.
Very cool to see.
Yeah, and he was a great representative. I couldn't have thought of a more deserving person to win that car. So really excited for him. And it was cool this year to see, like, as people are announcing sponsorships, a lot of our past junior grant winners, popped up with new sponsorships. So it's exciting to see how they're progressing, taking the sport seriously, and hopefully, by pulling all these people together, it can kind of give them a boost and encouragement to kind of keep pushing in the sport.
Well, I don't want to squarely, directly look at the camera and call out Discmania and say, well, you're sponsoring 3 of the amazing Silas or amazing Schultz kids, and that maybe Discmania should definitely jump on board with supporting everything you guys are doing over there as well. I mean, I'm not going to call them out and say that's something they absolutely should be doing, but maybe.
Yeah, we'll talk to Esther, but Avery is on board, so I think he represents Discmania. So.
All right, I think UC could dig in to the.
We've got a big move coming up. They're going to Colorado.
Yeah. They don't need to pack all that stuff. They could leave some for some of these grants behind. That would be a good idea. Good to see, obviously, Nate, Val, Avery, and all of the sponsors you mentioned.
For sure.
If somebody does want to get involved, they want to support, what are some of the ways that what are some of the things you're looking for, and what are some of the ways that they should reach out to you guys?
Yeah, I would say certainly if we can, anybody that wants to contribute cash would go just directly to the grant winners. So like Wyatt saying, hey, he wants to give $25 per person, that'll go right on top of the travel funds. Also, I think, as we were thinking about this year, we worked with Will Schustrick to do the lesson. We're hoping to, we're talking to one of the touring pros, a younger one. I think she might have won a junior world championship herself, current world champion. So I don't want to name her name since she hasn't officially agreed, but we're hoping that she will do like a video call with the kids. So working with that. So we want to do a couple more like experiential things where they get to interact with pros, things of that nature. So but certainly anything that people want to contribute to it, we are open, and you can reach out to myself or Matt Graham from Kids Disc Golf, and we'd be happy to talk to you, get you involved. It's certainly not a exclusive thing in any way. We love the idea of just bringing everybody together and, not really worrying about the credit, but just doing something cool for the kids and just pushing the sport forward in that way. Well,
and I to speak to what you're saying about people getting involved, you have such a great, wide, and deep array of sponsors and supporters. You mentioned a bag, you mentioned shoes, you mentioned disc, instruction, all of those different things, so wherever someone fits in within the disc golf community, it may not be an item that just about anyone could get on board. And Miles over at Paragon, I know, is a big supporter. So everybody has all these different, avenues or channels that they could find ways to then support you guys. And I think that's awesome.
Yeah. One of our other big sponsors, SmashBoxx, lets us come on their podcast and share about it. So we appreciate them as well.
Whatever we can do.
Yeah, we're, of course, glad to do so. So tomorrow is when it opens. I'm sure there's going to be kids sitting there hitting that F5 button. They're doing some refreshing, trying to find it on the website.
No, I think kids, they're going to be like swiping down to refresh the page.
Yeah,
they don't hit F5 anymore.
Yeah,
They've got cell phones these days.
That's true. So they'll be able to find it there. And you said that goes all the way until February 9th. So essentially a full month for them to get their applications in. Is that correct?
Yes. And it's a little, it's not just a fill out your name. It's fairly extensive for a kid's application. So they need to describe a project that they're going to do for the disc golf community, describe some of their goals. So we're really looking for kids that not only excel on the course and are driven and want to compete at a high level, but also kids that understand the need to give back, serve, and kind of get involved with the community. And then it also includes references from their local disc golf community. So yeah, there's a number of things that they need to go through. So encourage everybody to take their time. Don't need to get it in right away. Earlier will not necessarily mean anything for selecting winners.
Okay, yeah. Like you take your time, get it all filled out thoroughly, and yeah. So as usual, fair to say that can we get that exclusive? Can we get that notification when you guys want to announce who the winners are? Can we do that here on the show?
For sure, yeah. We lined it up with the Tuesday schedule, so we are. I think we said we're going to announce it on March 16th, off the top of my head. So yes, we will definitely. Actually, March 12th. I think that's a Tuesday. We will. We'll reach out, and we'd love to do it on here.
Awesome. Well, we looking forward to it. Just to give somebody an idea, roughly how many applicants did you get just last year?
Last year we were, I think, high 50s. So I think the first year we got like mid 30s. Last year, high 50s, and this year, Kids Disc Golf does an awesome job of just bringing kids together from all across the country and even the world. So I think they're going to give it a lot more exposure, and we would love to see 100 applicants or more. So,
okay. Well, I think about all the time to go through and read all those. And of course, I would assume you encourage if someone has applied in the past but hasn't won, they can reapply.
Correct. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Any past applicants are free to do so. And we'd love to look at that again. And one question that we answered the other night was, if the kids should do it or the parents can help. And our response would be, make it a team effort. If obviously a 5 or 6 year old might have trouble filling out an application, but I think it's a good option to work on with parents. Parents can weigh in, give some ideas. We've had that question a couple times, so I just wanted to clarify that. Yeah.
Is it obvious when a parent fills it out as opposed to a kid? Is it all too obvious to you guys?
It can be obvious, yes. On occasion it's obvious, but we're excited. Part of this is it's cool just to have the kids interact with the parents. That's one of the things I love about disc golf and running junior tournaments is, there's not many sports that there's so much interaction between the parents and kids, and there's just some great, very loving, supporting parents out there in the disc golf community, and it's really cool to see. So yeah, feel free to help, but we certainly want the kids to, be having the final input there. Okay.
Yeah, little 4-year-old Timmy uses 5-syllable words. How amazing, right?
Smart kids, man.
Yeah, that's what it is. All right, guys. Anything else to share with us tonight before we let you go?
No, that's it. We really appreciate you allowing us to come on, and we'll be checking in the Patreon account. Appreciate sharing that information, and really just appreciate all the exposure you've helped us to give to different initiatives and programs, and we look forward to sharing the winners with you and also sharing a little bit about the Zambia trip.
Yeah,
that'll be great.
We're certainly looking forward to that as well. We'll travel, first and foremost, of course, travel safely and spread all of the good word you can of disc golf and beyond. We appreciate you guys and the efforts that you're doing, along with the community in which you're putting together for everyone to represent disc golf the way you guys do. It's very uplifting and exciting to see. So travel safely and enjoy your time.
Awesome. Thank you, Terry.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Thanks a lot,
Have a good night, guys. See ya.
All right. See ya.
All righty. Hannah and Dustin doing great work out there.
And I say this about a lot of golfers, but I really mean it with them. two of the best people you can meet. So, certainly.
And I reserved the one question I had, which is, will we see Hannah on the course more this year? That we'll have to get back with that
next month. When we talk to them about winners and stuff, we'll for sure dig into Hannah a little bit more. I know she We saw her still on Team Innova.
Yep.
She's on, I believe it.
The Super Champion team? I don't know. I'm just making stuff up.
Crew team maybe this year?
I'm sure she's... I haven't been looking at all the... There's so many team pages I can't keep up.
I know. Tell me about it.
Good to see her with Innova. I know she obviously wasn't playing as much last year,
Correct.
so that's why I
think they're doing more important things than playing.
Yeah, that too.
So
and probably taking care of injuries or any other challenges that are out there.
Course.
So hopefully we'll see more of her later on in the year. If not, like you said, I'm sure they're going to be doing other great and amazing things for us. So, moving right along, if they're ready, I see the board is lighting up. As always, I want to thank everyone who joins us out. We try to pay attention usually best to the YouTube board. We know that some people are following along on the Facebook chat board. We encourage that. It's great. I'll go try and take a peek at that when I can. But if you want to interact with us directly, the YouTube chat board is the easiest way to do that live during the show. So
certainly. All right. So we've got them in the green room right now. All we need them to do is click the video button and make sure they turn off their YouTube, and we'll be set to go.
And
all right. And then I can now just do that.
You just click a button. Johnny's clicking away tonight.
Clicking
just
away.
Like that.
Welcome to the show.
Hey.
Hello.
Esther and Silas. How you guys doing tonight?
Good.
Doing good.
I'll be the first to admit this feels long overdue, and we're so glad to have both of you here. Give everyone a little background for starters who may not know you. Where are you guys, and give us a little background on your golf.
Go ahead.
That's for
First,
start.
me?
Yeah.
So we are Silas and Esther Schultz, obviously. We come from a family of 11. 5 of us play pretty consistently. Thunder's, the oldest, has been playing since he was like 10, and Silas has been playing since he was like 6. I've been playing since I was about 10 as well. Yeah, we love disc golf.
Yeah, you do that.
Is the goal to get the entire family sponsored by Discmania? Is that the effort?
That'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
We've got 4 so far, so...
You could probably take that title of first family of disc golf if that happens. Take it from the Jenkins and work on that.
We're gonna have to do something big to take away the brother and sister world titles, but we're determined.
You've got the options. I mean, you've got
And you've got age on your side right now.
That's right.
You guys are starting out even early, just as they did. But you guys already proving a lot of success and having a lot of fun doing it while traveling around. So I see some parallels there. All right, and Silas, I referenced you earlier in the big accomplishment, winning the car at the Next Gen finale. But give everyone else just a little bit more background to your disc golf.
Like Esther said, I started when I was 6. When I started, there wasn't a whole lot of form stuff on YouTube, so I basically just grew up throwing how I wanted to throw, and now it's come into some pretty good form, and I throw pretty far. And I was telling Felberg about how I'm basically turning into the disc golf player who throws far but can't putt good. And he was like,
and he's like, I don't know what you mean.
You guys want to hear my Felberg impersonation real quick?
Oh yeah,
Here
of
we
course.
go. He was like, no, you throw really far, or you throw kind of far, but your putting's better than your driving. You don't throw as far as people would think. And I was like, did you just insult me and compliment me at the same time?
Yeah, we call that backhanded compliment. That's very nice of him.
You don't drive that good, but you putt pretty good. And I was like, I'll take it, I guess.
I disagree with him in that you do throw far.
Yeah,
I can't judge your putting. I don't know. All I've seen is that the Next Gen finale, and you seem to have putt well enough to win there. So
and under pressure, which is the most important part.
But I did see you throw very far.
Yeah.
So what would you say? I mean, you talk about strengths, but what would you say? How far do you drive, and what are the things that you're working on?
I think my furthest drive that was recorded was like 530, and that was like in a distance competition. I don't really know. I mean, it was a pretty good rip, so that's probably pretty accurate to max D. But my size is it's okay. I can throw about like 340 on my best shot. Like that's not accurate at all. So like that's what I'm really working on, and then putting is just kind of that's something you always work on. So yeah.
How about you, Esther? We know Thunder throws pretty far. Silas throws pretty far. Do you have that same gene?
I would like to say I do. I don't know. How far can I throw? I think my furthest was like 325, I'd say.
Yeah, but I would say she throws a little further than that.
Yeah. Okay. I've learned to master the flex shot. Since I started when I was younger, I can throw some mean anhydrous, man.
And Esther's going to put it in the fairway every time.
Yeah.
And that's
way more important.
I said that's the way more important part. Keep it between the trees or between the lines.
And now, just for then a further reference point, Silas, you're 15. And Esther, you're
18.
18. Okay. So when we talk about the other competitors in your family, how old are they?
Simeon is 13, and Thunder is 19, and so yeah. And then there's a sister between us two, and she's good, but she just doesn't practice. She does music and other stuff, and she'll just come out and she's super competitive. So she'll play tournaments and she'll want to beat all the AM women, and she throws far, but she's not as serious.
Well, and maybe at one point, Valerie Jenkins used to sit in the minivan and flip through 17 magazine while Avery was out competing and the rest of the family. And eventually, Val was bit by the bug, and obviously that turned out all right for her. Yeah. So, for you guys, where did that competition start? Was it your mom and dad that played, or were you introduced to it somewhere else? To the game?
Go ahead, you tell the story.
Okay, so the whole story is way back in the day when we were really, really little. My dad would go out and play, and he loved it. And then Hurricane Katrina hit, and we moved to New Orleans, from Baton Rouge to New Orleans to do hurricane relief. And we were so busy that he didn't have time and kind of forgot about it. Then we moved back to Baton Rouge after about 4 years, and Dad saw some random discs at a garage sale and was like, oh, yeah, this is cool. And then he took us out, and the rest is history.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how about your mother? Is she competitive? Does she play?
She's played one tournament, but because we have so many younger siblings, she just is usually at home. But she does like it. She went to Junior Worlds with us last year, and that's where she really fell in love with it and saw it as like a real cool sport. So since then, she's been kind of into it, but still doesn't play very much.
Well, you guys realize, like, if you just showed up and somebody was the TD, like, you're your own small C tier, like with 10 or 11 of you in the family. Like, you have.
They're like, are the Schultzes coming? Because we're like adding like 2 people to each division, And we're,
yes. And
so,
here's real quick, good Mother's Day gift. Babysit the little ones for her while she goes out and plays.
Yeah.
That's going to be a great gift right there.
It's a good idea.
You guys are a very, very tight-knit family. I've seen how you guys interact, how you definitely support one another. What is that like when you have the varying skill levels and then you're at different tournaments, whether it's an AM-based tournament or a pro-based event or a mixture? How do you guys all interact and support one another at all these tournaments?
I think, I feel like I'm always trying to beat Thunder. Simeon's always trying to beat me, and Esther's always trying to beat Simeon. No matter the divisions, if we're playing the same tees, I'm going to beat you. Like, it doesn't matter. So, like, Thunder's not going to let me beat him. I'm not going to let Sim beat me. And Sim really doesn't want Esther to beat him. And so it's, as long as we're playing the same tees, and even if we're not, like, we're always pushing each other,
Yeah.
But even when you're not pushing one another, you guys are certainly pulling for one another as well.
Yeah.
And I've seen that out there, that support among you guys, which is awesome. Ultimately now, you have put up your prize from the Next Gen Tour. I've seen that hit the Facebook Marketplace.
It's on Facebook.
You're willing or looking to possibly sell that. Give the whole story. I mean, obviously you're 15, but give the story as to what you're looking to try to do.
Yeah, so winning a car is pretty awesome at first, and it still is. But like, my dad, he's like, okay, I'm paying the taxes, but you got to pay me back. And I was like, okay, but I still wanted to keep it and stuff. And then he laid out insurance, and I was like, I don't have a job, and even if I do get a job, my whole paycheck's going to just keep my car. And then there's no way I'm paying off the taxes. And so, I mean, I think if Feldberg was like, here's the car and $12,000, I'd been like, yeah, this is awesome. But unfortunately, that's, it's an AM tournament, so you can't just be handing out money like that. So I'm selling it, and I think, if I get some money for it and I can go to some bigger tournaments like Glassbone or Nick Hyde or, stuff like that. And then save up some and maybe buy a car later. So I don't really need a 2018 Jeep as my first car at 15.
Nah, you could probably go for like a 2005 something or 2009 something or other maybe.
I don't need to be driving around a $25,000 car at all.
So if you let's just play pretend and say you had you get 19,000 in cash and you do go buy a car tomorrow. You're buying your first ever car. What do you think you will get?
Oh, I have no idea. I mean, like at this point, I really don't need a driver's license that much. I'm not really going anywhere. And if I need to go somewhere, I'll go with my mom or Thunder or Esther who can drive. And so, like, or dad. Like, I just have no idea.
Esther's like, don't crap my style, kid. I'm 18. Esther, do you have a car?
I do not. No.
Thunder doesn't have a car either, and I was just trying to sell it to him because Thunder has a job and he gets paid good money. So I'm like, Thunder, you just buy my car, and I'll give you like no interest payments, like the brother discount, like
oh my
the
God,
whole
discount,
thing.
sweetheart.
Wow.
Like,
so what?
15. How much does he have to give me to make it worth it? Like a month? Like he gives me like $400 a month. I'm like, yeah, I'll take that,
Wow.
So, but I mean, it's a stick. He wasn't really interested in paying that much, and I mean, it's a lot for your first car to pay.
Yeah,
it is. What, Esther? If you could go out and buy a car with the money tomorrow, what would you be getting?
Oh,
Lamborghini.
no.
With that
the
money.
money.
Unless you're talking a Micro Machine.
I don't know exactly. When I get back from Zambia, I do want to look into something cheap but reliable to where I can travel to tournaments and, have my own vehicle. Something with enough room so I can bring guys like Silas along who, need a ride.
All right.
I wouldn't be able to tell you exactly what type of car, but nothing extravagant.
Yeah.
Thunder told me
I know where your priorities are.
Thunder said once I sell the car, I should go buy a Kia Soul. That was his idea, which I thought was kind of funny and brutal.
So,
I was thinking I could buy a minivan and call it the Biddy van because that Biddy is my nickname.
okay.
So yeah, that's what I would buy.
So Thunder, who we've referenced now a few times, now also a champion in his own right. What year was it that he won AM Worlds? Or Junior Worlds?
Junior Worlds.
Junior Worlds.
16 and under. 15? 2015?
I was going to say, I thought
he was 15.
It might be
4 years ago.
I can't keep all your championships straight, kids. Like, get a resume ready here.
I'm going to say 14.
Where was it at? Maybe that's a...
It's in Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Right?
So that would have been 2014, yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Thunder is on the board. He says 2014.
Oh, there you go. He chimes in.
Get it straight, brother. Okay.
Yeah, so 2014.
It's like,
awesome.
Go find the trophy. It's in my room.
So I know we talk about that competitive spirit, but what's kind of next for you guys? What are you guys thinking about from a competitive traveling side? Is it the World Championships that you worry about? Is it tours, or is it just on the weekends because you're schooling, or what are some of the next big goals for you guys? Tour-wise, playing-wise.
Harry, I'm not playing any pro tours because of what they did to you, man.
I'm not. You're a sweetheart.
All right, now really.
No, I think I just love big tournaments. Like any big tournament, I'll go and play it. Obviously, I'm still in school, but I'm homeschooled. So like if I can get ahead on my work or catch up when I get home, I can go to some bigger ones. Hopefully just really anything that's pro now, because I'm a pro. I still haven't accepted cash, but I'm going to be a pro.
I was just going to say, I missed you guys in Florida this year. South Florida Open last year, but not this year.
It didn't work out. Last year we were visiting our aunt in Florida who lives, right over there. So this year it didn't work out. So, but we did want to go. That's a great tournament. I love that tournament.
Yeah, a lot of fun for sure. Esther, can you maybe, we've talked obviously with Hannah and Dustin a few times about Zambia, but elaborate on your involvement. You're going for 3 months. They're just going for a few weeks. Come on. You're going for 3 months, and I know you had a fundraising effort, which I was glad to support, and I just think the world of all the work that you guys are doing. But can you elaborate a little bit on what your experience, what you're hoping to get out of it, and what it's lay it out for us?
Yeah, so I will be there, obviously, with the Leathermans for the first couple of weeks. We will put on a kids tournament, which I will be kind of more of an authority over, and I will be helping with the Glow tournament, and then we have the Zambia Open, which will be a PDGA event. So after that, we'll be doing a couple different things with the team. Then once they leave, I'll stay on and help. Like, my main goal is to help incorporate disc golf into the ministry there. So I will be staying with the missionaries who have other sports that they do with the people there. So they have like basketball, volleyball, and different things like that. But I will be in charge of the disc golf portion, which I believe the team went in 2016 and they installed 9 holes. So since then, they've never really had anyone to keep encouraging it. I do believe that they play, but they haven't had anyone really involved in the disc golf portion. So I will be kind of training people on how to do that and different things like that, doing different clinics and stuff. So yeah.
It sounds like obviously a lot of work. What led you to the commitment of 3 months over there?
Oh, it's kind of a long story. I wanted to go to Africa literally my entire life, and I felt like that's where the Lord has called me. And so when I graduated high school, I felt like that was what I was supposed to do, and I found a mission school in Mozambique that was going to be a 3-month commitment. And so I was like, okay, Lord, I'll do this. And then it got shut down. There's some really bad terrorist attacks, so that was not an option anymore. And I was like, oh, now I don't know what to do. And then literally 2 weeks later, when I was at Junior Worlds in Emporia, I ran into Dustin and Hannah. And I think my mom actually told them the situation. And they were like, wow, we've literally been looking for a disc golf intern, and it would be 3 months, and she could teach disc golf. And it was just so perfect. They were like, all right, this is an option. Just pray about it. And honestly, I was like, this is too perfect. I know this was meant for me, Mm-hmm. So I agreed, and Friday I will be leaving to do that. So it's very, very exciting.
That's awesome.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I'll ask maybe the easier one. What are you most concerned about? Any worries or hesitation? What have you maybe stressed out about the most as you're about to embark on such a courageous adventure?
Well, right now it's the goodbyes. Yesterday, Thunder went to work. I had to say goodbye to him. My dad went to work tonight. I'm going to have to say goodbye to my family tomorrow. It's I've never done that before, and like you said before, my family is really close, so I think it'll be really good, and I think I'll grow a lot, but that's going to be the hardest part right now. I think once that's over and I get on the plane, it'll be go time, but right now that's the biggest mountain.
What's and excuse my ignorance here, but what is the amount of communication that, I don't want to say allowable, that's available for you? I'm not sure of what's, phone,
so
email,
Wi-Fi,
all that kind of stuff. Any of that, all of that, some of that?
What's that?
I was just saying phone or email or any or all of that or none of that. What's available?
A little bit of everything, I believe. The Wi-Fi is very limited and it costs money, so I won't be, on Instagram a ton. I can FaceTime for like 20 minutes once a week. So I will be trying to post and keep everyone updated, but it won't be a whole lot. But yeah.
Is this the perfect opportunity to see you start maybe a vlog of sorts? I mean, Instagram's kind of like a mini vlog, but
yeah, I was thinking about it.
Okay.
I'll have to work on it. That would be out of my comfort zone, but I think I'd be able to do it. I could get used to it, maybe.
I can get used to it. Well, here's what you do. Even if you don't post regularly because of the internet situation, a nice 3-month, a big Instagram story, so to speak. A nice. We used to call those videos. Now they're called stories. Who knows? But just record everything every couple days. A little,
little update.
Little updates.
Yeah, I think I'll do that.
I think that'd be great. And I see you guys are all very active on your social media. So, how do you feel like that's going to be a change for you in terms of, that accessibility, whether it's internet or cellular or any of that stuff or technology? How big of a change is that going to be for you?
I think it's going to be a huge change, and I'm really excited about it. I've been trying to cut down even now just to prepare for that, but just to be in a place where like kids don't have phones or tablets, which isn't all bad, but just it's completely different, So I think it's going to be really refreshing and really good.
Silas, you can admit it now or later. How much are you going to miss your big sister?
Oh yeah, a lot, because she works at Trader Joe's. So when I go to Trader Joe's with her, she'll just like buy me stuff and like cookie butter and
that's the only reason?
No, me and Esther hang out all the time. We're best buds. We're really close. So yeah.
All right. Well, it's going to definitely be a change. Now, Esther, are you the second oldest then in the whole family, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so quite an adventure you're embarking on. Now, just backtracking a little bit, I think I saw, and I'll admit I don't know the whole story, so if you don't mind sharing it maybe, you guys were also transitioned into a new home recently, weren't you?
Yeah.
Could you share some of that?
I can tell a story. So 2 years ago, it was like a week before Christmas. Sounds like a scary movie, but no, it was a week before Christmas, and it was super cold in Louisiana, which is weird too. And I love building fires in the fireplace. And yeah, you get the picture, Johnny. We were gonna go to a play called The Happy Elf. And we're going to have a party here afterwards. So we cleaned the whole house all day, got ready for the party. And I was keeping a fire going all day in the fireplace. And we just left the fire going just because it was like, we didn't want to put it out and have it be all smoky. And we did not know that our chimney was not built properly. And it was leaking hot air into the attic that caught a board on fire that was on the other side of the chimney. And caught some insulation on fire, burned through most of the attic, and was totally unlivable. And so we were displaced in a hotel for 2 months. 2 months. And then we've been living in a small rental house ever since then. But now we have transitioned back in the house. We rebuilt the whole thing. And my mom just designed it perfectly for a family of 13 people. So, you can't buy houses like this one, because it was built just for us. Like, we have how many bathrooms? Like five bathrooms, and there's five bedrooms, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's awesome, and it's a blessing to be back.
I'm gonna look because. Currently, I keep my eye open for a new house. We're looking at leaving. I'm going to look for that spot in Zillow that says designed for a family of 13 because I don't see that option. I see like 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom. Yeah. I don't see 13, but
2.5 bath, 3.5 bath. No, 5 bath.
No, they go down to like 6 or 7 if you really want to get fancy, but that's beyond me.
Wow, so incredible.
Awesome.
No one was injured. Everyone was gone. But you guys unfortunately came back to that wreckage. And now I'm fully on that road to recovery and all good to go now.
Yeah.
Incredible. Yeah, and it was just before Christmas, right, that the house was completed, and you guys were back in it again this year. Is that correct?
Christmas Eve,
yeah.
we moved
Christmas
in.
Eve. Okay.
Wow, that's great.
I'm not going to ask who builds the fireplace or fires now, right?
No, there's no fireplace. That's a part of it being built for 13 people who've just went through that experience. No fireplace, and the contractor was like, "No, it's okay." And my mom was like, "Nope, sorry,
No.
buddy."
Not even a
Nope.
gas one. No electric.
No.
Nothing.
Not even a picture of a fire on the TV.
We have a gas stove. That's about as close as it gets.
So 2019 is finally here. We've heard all these sponsorship changes and announcements. Thunder, who's been sponsored by Discmania. Now, just recently, we've heard news about you guys. Tell us what that means as a family to have the same sponsor and how that all came about.
I mean, Thunder, he won Junior Worlds, like he said in
2014. We got it. 2014.
Yeah. And so he was looking to get sponsored by Innova, and then this other company from Mobile offered him a lot and delivered on barely any of it. And so, but he signed with them. He missed out on Innova, and Jamie Thomas, who's from Baton Rouge, he kind of got Thunder on. And then after I came in second at Next Gen, they signed me. And then this year, Esther and Simeon were both signed. I mean, Simeon took second at Junior Worlds last year, and then that was in 13 and under. And then this year he took, I think it was 6th or 7th, and Esther took
Second and third. And then she cashed at Ledgestone in Open Women. So you know, it's really awesome not to be throwing all different stuff. You know, just to everyone have the same bag and trade discs and, you know, give each other advice on what to throw. And I mean, it's obviously the best out there. Discmania is amazing. So I mean,
true.
There's no other company that we'd want to be with.
I'm very nice, Esther. I'm assuming you guys have thrown the DD3.
I have not. No,
What?
I ordered 5. They're coming in tomorrow or the next day.
All right.
But
I just
it
see
should
people
be
on the
awesome.
board.
It's the best driver on the market, though, by far.
Clearly.
And I would
sure.
back that up. If
Okay.
Discmania in any way, shape, or form ever supported SmashBoxxTV, I might be able to get on board with some of those endorsements. I'm not calling anyone out.
He's going the wrong way. Yeah, I just see people on the board. I know the new Cloud Breaker, the DD3, was released and put into a lot of the mystery boxes. So people are starting to get them and throw them. So we'll get some good reviews, I'm sure, in the next couple of weeks on the DD3.
So it's got to be exciting, as you guys just said, being able to have this entire family share and swap and hand me down and trade and just like all of that continuity, all of that. All those similarities, you know, shared among you, that is, believe it or not, I think a huge advantage, because if you're not dabbling in all the different brands and then, you know, somebody can throw something or somebody can't throw that, you guys just, you know, your allotment probably could more or less get pulled together in some ways. Of course, there's different throwing styles and capabilities, but that's got to be nice to be able to swap around.
Yeah. I mean, 2 days ago, I traded Thunder 2 Doombird 2s for 2 Sky Gods, you know, just like I need this and we'll just trade back and forth. And then, like you said, hand-me-downs. Like if I have a bunch of CD2s that are too flippy for me, I'll give them to Esther or Simeon. And, you know, it's, you know, they have beat-in discs before, you know, stuff that you can't just buy off the shelf and stuff. So, yeah, I think it is a pretty cool advantage.
Yeah, I would say so. That's
Yeah.
I think you have to think back to like a Nate and a Val who for so many years had 2 totally separate bags, and people would always be like, "Well, you guys probably just throw the other, you know, the other person's just for fun once in a while." It's like, no, there's nothing to be gained by that.
Why would I?
But you guys, none of those problems. So 2019's plans. I know you said you want to be at the big events, but single something out. Where will we see you guys?
I'm registered for the GBO. It is exactly 1 week after I get back from Africa.
Okay.
So I went ahead and signed up, and I'm going to see what happens. I might back out just because it's 1 week after I get back, but it might be fun to take a road trip. I'm planning on going to Worlds and probably Ledgestone. And then I'm not in school right now, so when I get back from Africa, I'll be working and just trying to play as many big tournaments as I can. But those are a couple that I definitely want to get to.
Is your plan to go back to school next year, or?
I'm not sure exactly. I know Zambia is the next step, and then I'll just see what comes after that.
Fair enough.
And Silas, what specifically?
I'm just gonna mooch off of whatever Thunder and Esther do.
Wherever the car goes, I'll be in it.
Yeah, I'll be sleeping in the back seat so I don't get forgotten.
At the time of GBO registration, I owned a Jeep Renegade but had no money, and so I was not able to sign up. And so, probably not that one, but like she said, trying to go to Worlds and Ledgestone. And just because that's the best course on tour, pretty much.
That's great to say. I was going to say, though, for GBO, they need caddies.
Yeah.
I mean, really, like, I'm going to try to get it.
She throws him an elbow.
She's got a Zuka. But, yeah, I mean, I'll try to go to, I mean, if I have money from the car and I can just pay for my food and lodging or whatever, yeah, I'd love to go. And then I would love to go with Simeon to Junior Worlds if he lets me go with him.
Yeah.
Usually he doesn't let people caddy for him or watch him play, because when my mom went, every time she watched him, he played bad. And so only select few people were allowed. But he said I could cad for him. So
awesome. Well, I got Esther. I know I recorded some of your round at the Worlds, right? This last year, and by the good gracious of Bobby Brown, the birthday boy himself, along with the tournament director and the rest of the staff, they've secured me again to come back and be part of the Junior Worlds in Emporia. So thanks to Doug and the rest of the crew. I'm super excited. I had an awesome time there last year, and as you guys already know, Emporia, whether it's the GBO or it's an AM Worlds or a Junior Worlds, they do things right, and it's a lot of fun to be there. So I'm looking forward to being back there again this year and taking in the action.
And I think just the vibe of like a bunch of young disc golfers who just love the game, and even if they're just playing like 9 holes around because they can't make it through a whole 18, just like a bunch of kids who love disc golf, just messing around after the rounds and stuff like that. It's just a great vibe, the whole tournament.
That's infectious.
That's all one of my favorite things is that these kids, and we've seen it at AM Worlds before, they'll play their 9 or 18 holes, and then they'll all hang out and chat and throw at the basket and they don't. The scariest part is none of them are watching. You've got kids walking in front of baskets and throwing putts, and I always sit there and cringe. I'm like, so he's gonna get hit. No, okay. And
those are young bones.
They're young. They're malleable. So.
All right. If you guys were looking for any additional help or support, obviously you have disc sponsor. What are some of the ways that people could reach out or support what you guys are doing? Is there any other way to go about it? Anything you guys are looking for?
Yeah, just go buy my car on Facebook Marketplace. That would be, that'd be a blessing to me. But yeah, you can connect with me pretty much through Instagram, and I'm on Facebook a little bit. But
okay. I've been meaning to ask, have you received offers? And then I'll follow it up and say, have you received like lowball offers? How has the car selling been going, if at all?
So I posted it for 19,000, and I got like 3 hours after I got an offer for 17. Oh. Which I was expecting, and I was like, yeah, it's pretty good, but it had only been on for such a little time, so I was like, would you do 18? Just because like it was getting a bunch of attention and people were sharing it, and then he was like, I'm out, and I was like, whoa, you could have countered or something. So he was gone, and then I had a little bit more interest for 17, but people on the board, I'll sell it for 17. So, and my dad,
SmashBoxx exclusive.
Hey, look, here's another SmashBoxx exclusive. My dad said that he will drive it to wherever you are in the country if you pay for gas and a plane ticket back home. So like,
The delivery.
I mean,
All right.
that might push it to like, you know,
Another
however
$500
much
maybe.
Yeah,
$600.
It is available for people around the United States.
If it's going to the right area, I'll fly down there and drive it somewhere.
That's
and,
true.
and deliver it myself. You know,
I'll be- I'll be in-
interview you.
I'll be in Pensacola in like 2 weeks.
Yeah,
I'll shoot right over to Louisiana and we'll get something figured out.
Johnny V, are you in the market for a Jeep Renegade?
He
I am
could
not.
be.
I-
Yes,
I
he
have
is.
I have a 2009 Honda Fit that it looks like a clown car when I get out of it because I'm so big and it's
And when
so
you're
small.
in it, be clear when you're
Okay,
in
when
it
I'm
too.
in it too, yeah. It doesn't help that I wear the red nose whenever I drive, but so I would
But
be.
it is
Go ahead.
it is a piece of like disc golf history, you know. It was the
True.
So,
It could go in my
you know,
disc
for
golf
any disc
museum.
golfer, it's a cool thing. It's the car that was won by that kid who couldn't drive. So
I would be remiss to let you go before you apparently, Silas, have a Terry Miller impression.
oh, you saw that? Oh yes,
I saw you say something. We've never had a Terry Miller impression before.
No.
And I have a
I
Terry
need to
Miller
see.
joke, too.
I need to see a Terry Miller impression before we let you go.
Okay, so it's not like my Felberg impression where it sound like you. It's just like stuff you would say, and
Okay.
I try not to do impressions of the people that in front of the people I'm doing.
No,
but,
this is great.
I can do it. So I mean, you could just be talking about anything, and you'd be like, you could be talking about like, all right, let's just say you're talking about the GOAT, the greatest of all time. You say, we'll have a Ken Climo or a Paul McBeth in that conversation, or dare I say a Kevin Jones in that conversation as well. That's my Terry Miller bit right there, everybody.
It's not bad. It's not bad. You need to throw. I'll just further your point.
Yes.
Yeah, you got to
yes.
further the point always with Terry, and then you're good to go.
And so here's my Terry Miller joke is the only people I've ever heard say Kale LaVisca is Terry Miller and Kale LaVisca. Those are the only people. So that's my other joke.
Well, I mean,
Well, it sounds like good company then.
I would think so. Yeah, I would definitely think so.
Nice. All right. Well, you're done with us. I'm done with you, kid. Look at that enough.
So if you want to buy a Jeep, anybody, if you're in the market for a Jeep, you know who to call. You know who to get in contact. He could use the money to help him tour and travel. You would basically be a sponsor of Silas.
Yeah.
Do you think it will ultimately go to a disc golfer?
I hope so. I think that would be cool. Hopefully someone's, about to super chat 17,000 and just
I hope they do too, because it goes to us.
I mean, I think like I said, it's like a disc golf trophy and a piece of history. So I think it would be cool to go to a disc golfer.
Yeah, I totally agree with that because, like you said, not only were you so close to winning it the year before, or winning a vehicle, and then the next year when you do win it, you're still underage and without license. It's really a pretty funny story when it's all said and done. And Kyle, who is charging as well, also without license. So I thought that was pretty funny.
So
you little
Simeon,
youngsters.
he's gunning for a car next year. Simeon's like, oh, this is how Schultz get their first car. Okay,
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
he
no
said
big
he's going
deal.
to try to do it too.
It's that easy.
Just win it. Yeah.
All right, Esther, any parting shots from you? I'll let you go first. Anything else to say before we close out here?
Thanks for having me. Super excited about my trip. And thankful for all the prayers if anyone, thinks of me. And I will try to keep everyone as up to date as I can. And Discmania is awesome.
Hashtag cool kids throw Discmania.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else from you, buddy, before we let you go? Besides one
So
final car pitch?
I have a Johnny V impersonation.
Oh,
I'm just
jeez.
kidding. I know.
I was like, wow.
No, I'm not that good. So.
All right.
No, just thanks to Discmania, and don't give me an offer under 17. That's all I got.
Well, now, say you've set the bar at 17. Everyone's going to lowball you from 17. You had to go 18, kid.
Look, I'm just saying, I'll take 17. Don't give me anything under 17,
All right.
though.
He'll take
All right.
And if you
17
wanna bless me,
today.
give me
Super
8.
chat it to us. I swear we'll forward out the money. I promise.
No, because Google takes a cut of that.
True. All right, Esther, be well, travel safely, do all of the amazing things that you're going to do. We will all be thinking about you, and just super excited and proud of taking this huge step for yourself and for all of disc golf and for everyone else out there. Thank you so much. And Silas, we'll be seeing you around. We're not getting rid of you as easily.
At any tournament Thunder's at, I'll be there.
Yeah, right in the back seat. All right. Have a good night. Thank you guys for joining us again. Travel safely.
Bye.
See ya. Bye. All right. As we said,
one of the more fun interviews we've done in a long time. I'll say that for sure.
That's a little scary. Their combined age is still younger than us.
Either of us. Yes.
Kids these days.
I tell you.
Got to throw that out there somewhere. Kids these days.
Get off my lawn.
Yes, certainly some great kids. And talk about
young adults.
Yeah, and a family and a household of disc golfers as a force to be reckoned with.
That's why I wasn't joking when I was saying you could take, I mean, the first family, I suppose, is the Jenkins, but you could be the second family of disc golf. They're very young. They're very good. I would not be surprised to see a world championship or two come out of that family.
Yeah, well,
exactly.
To add on to their existing championships. Robert McCall is out on the board, along with so many other great disc golf enthusiasts. I see our pal Zach Pajak. I see Carver G, Mark Hill. Mark, thanks for all the support you've given to me, as well as Smashbox. Mark said the other day, he said, I saw the new Patreon level of that t-shirt, and he says it's awfully tempting, so he may or may not have jumped on top of it, but nonetheless, all of our supporters, we appreciate all of you guys.
Well,
Disc Golf Strong, Seth, thanks for being here, and Robert. I think they're still not as old as you, Robert. I mean, come on, you're getting old too, buddy.
15 plus 18, 33. Robert?
Yeah, Robert.
I don't think you're quite 33
Any grace
yet,
in
Robert.
that beard of yours, Robert?
Well, and I want to say this. Just now,
exclusive?
Tim Courts sends me a Dropbox file with some of the designs that we might be seeing on some shirts. So if I can pull this up, maybe I'll be able to show us a little later, maybe in the after show.
A little tease to what you might see on a Smashbox shirt at some point this year. So Tim, we do appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. Also on the show yet tonight, and it won't be probably too long from now, we've got another sponsored professional, as we're going to welcome Sarah Hokum to the show here in just a little bit. She's, of course, got some big news that has now been out for about 6 days. They came out a day late. We were giving her all the encouragement in the world to release on January 1st, but we were waiting on her sponsor.
MVP. Come on.
Oh, I wasn't sure.
The only person I know at MVP really is Steve, so I'm going to yell at Steve. Steve, MVP, king of the memes. What's your deal?
Yeah.
Why couldn't we get this on a day that we needed?
Yeah, come on. But so they released on the 2nd, letting us know that Sarah has now joined the crew. I think I saw Gary out of Illinois. I know he works with Plastic Addicts and Johnny and the crew down there. He was recently added to the MVP team along with a few others. I don't want to say it is slowing down and dying down. We're still seeing an occasional fresh new name added to any one of our sponsorship teams from any one of our manufacturers now. They continue to unfold. Most people, of course, have settled in and or made their announcements, but I know we talked a few weeks ago about someone like Zacharias Johnson, who is seemingly just going to go unsponsored for now. But I always feel like, well, that could change on any given time.
The right offer
could come along.
Just like Silas. You give him the right offer and his
Exactly.
position changes.
So we'll see how that continues to shake out. I know I posted last week, so we updated 1 week shorter. 7 weeks. National Tour. Disc Golf Pro Tour.
Wow.
All seemingly right around the corner.
It really feels like we need a longer off season, but it's been a few months, but those months the older you get, the quicker time goes.
Okay.
It's
if you say so.
It does. I swear summers lasted forever when I was a kid, and now they're gone like that. Like Thanos snapping his thumb.
Little song in Greece that's saying something like that.
I don't know. I was never a Greece person.
Neither was I. I have no idea.
I have to ask my wife.
All right. Excuse me. So, we see that Silas and others are still on the board. Ryan Pilcher out on the board. Some really big news it may feel a little bit regional, but I promise you this, it will ultimately be more than regional. I don't want to say global. It'll be more than regional. This home of the 2007 Pro Worlds, which was Highbridge Hills Sports Complex in northern Wisconsin. It's almost to Canada. It is way up in northern Wisconsin. It is a full 6 to 7 hours from where Johnny V and I are. We're southeastern Wisconsin. This is almost the northernmost area of Wisconsin where it's located. Over 400 acres. It was a family-owned property that at one point was started development for a golf course, for a ball golf course. That development was thwarted. I don't recall if it was a death in the family or funding or what it was, but it was ultimately stopped. And then at one point, a gentleman who was, we'll call him the caretaker. I think there was a misnomer in calling him an owner. He was ultimately the caretaker, the steward of the property. His name was John. Put in a ton of courses. Chuck Kennedy came over. People like Pat Blake had just immeasurable amount of work and energy and effort put in there, and in realizing some of Chuck's efforts and design principles. And then I know Pat interjected himself and worked for an entire summer and then some up there. And I always said that Highbridge Hills is a great destination, but wait until it's finished, because they were constantly developing courses. There's Blueberry, there's Granite Ridge, there was the Bear, there was the Gold Course, all these different courses with all these different names up there. And there were upwards of like 6 or 7 or 8 courses, depending on how you mix some things up, 6 or 7 or 8 unique courses, hundreds of baskets up there. All over the place. Well,
you just throw anywhere and you hit a basket.
Yeah, you could. And it is this amazing a piece of property. Unfortunately, being in the location that it was in, it also there were more people and there were more cows there were more baskets than people, I think, at one point in that area. And although it was considered a mecca, or could have been, it just didn't have quite the support that it needed surely because of its location. Minnesota's Twin City areas, had a 4 or 5.5 hour drive, as did most of Wisconsin to get there. So you put that in anywhere within an hour of Milwaukee, and it's a multi-million-dollar, growing, thriving, pay-to-play, greatest facility in the world. Unfortunately, just with its location, it wasn't fully sustainable. And then I feel like they kind of let some things slide. And then they were trying to host concert venues and all sorts of other things up there to help also make full use of the property. I was going to say long story short. It's already been a long story. It hasn't panned out. I used to say, go up there when it's finished. And then for a few years, I said, go up there before it's gone. Well, after a lot of years of turmoil and a lot of really unsatisfied people, somehow in some capacity, it's been turned over to another gentleman who is, I believe, purchasing the rights or purchasing it outright. Who's an avid disc golfer, who has his own property, who lives up in that area, and a gentleman who goes by the name of Mountain Man has, in fact, purchased it. And I'm just going to say right now.
His name's Mountain Man. I mean,
yeah, of course.
What
big things. I expect to see big things. He is one of the kindest, gentlest, yet hardest working guys we'll ever see in disc golf. And there's some really big things that are going to come on the horizon. So if you've ever ventured, and this is why this is important to share, some people at points were saying this is a destination. I'm going to come from California, and I'm going to go up to this place in northern Wisconsin. Me and my buddies, we're going to make a week-long venture of it. Mm-hmm. We've got 6 or 7 courses on site with camping, with lodging, with all of this stuff. And they'd go there, and they'd be wildly disappointed or sorely disappointed. I'm hoping all of that turns around. So congratulations to Tom, to Mountain Man, and just look for continued announcements that are going to happen as a result of it. It's still up in a very remote location, but it again should be a place that people will make a destination. While you're up there, you go to Sandy Point Resort, my favorite place on the planet, 90 minutes or so from there. You almost have to drive by Sandy Point to get there. You stop in and see Mike and Michelle Cousins. at Sandy Point Resort.
Tell them we sent you.
Yep,
You'll get no discount, but
none
you
at all.
might get a pat on the back.
And so it's great. It'll make, again, Dustin, I don't want to say make Highbridge Hills great again, but
you can push it that way.
It's definitely a step in the right direction. So, again, regional or otherwise, this will impact you because I think we're going to see tournaments. There's no reason another large-scale event or multiple large-scale events couldn't return there in the future.
Yeah, we could see a Worlds, a Pro Tour event. You could see a National Tour event up there that has World Championship courses.
Yeah, and obviously just that. Worlds were hosted there in 2007, so that does say something about the caliber of the courses and the property up there. So looking forward to seeing it all pan out. Okay, so quick side announcement for everyone out there. I believe, Valerie won her first Worlds up at Highbridge in 2007. I think that's, yeah, that sounds about right. So, yeah, looking forward to it. All right. If Sarah Hokum is out and on the board, which she might be available, I will message her.
Yeah, I've got her lined up here on Skype, just waiting to see her come online. She said she'd be watching tonight no matter what. So,
wow, how dedicated.
we are the place to be on Tuesday nights.
I don't know. Yeah.
There was some other big guy.
At least on Tuesday nights. Yeah.
There was some other thing on earlier tonight on.
Missed it.
I didn't watch it. So clearly it wasn't that important. We should be on every major television channel.
No, and aside from what you're referencing, which I didn't think you were, you're referencing, of course, the presidential address or speech or whatever is given tonight. That I did miss. I also missed earlier, just before our show, I believe Paul Macbeth had the second installment of his Building the Bag series. And I believe that was done earlier tonight.
Yes. Jomez released that, and Paul was doing some live chatting. I haven't had a chance to take a look at it yet. I was busy with kids.
You were watching The President.
No, I was busy with kids and playing Super Smash Brothers, but that's beside the point. Hey, I got to have some fun, too. And yeah, so I'll probably end up watching that tomorrow while I'm being employed.
That's a good idea.
I mean, where else would you watch it? So
I don't know. Sarah says she's ready, so if you want to hit her up on the Skypes, we'll be able to get her in on the action.
I got her up here on the Skypes, and I just Sarah, if you're not on your normal account that we chatted with you 7 months ago, go ahead and feel free to give us a call.
That sounds kind of creepy.
Well,
where were you 7 months ago, Sarah?
Chatting with us.
What were you logged into, Sarah?
I played 36 straight holes this weekend of Wolf.
Wow.
It was a lot of fun. And I wasn't even really that sore like I thought I was going to be. I was regretting. Usually I'm not as sore the next day. It's almost the second day later where you're like, oh, man, it didn't happen. Now, granted, it was really muddy out on the course or really icy, one or the other. And so what I had to do, you had to slow everything down if you wanted to do anything. And ultimately, it was a lot of fun. There was 5 of us, so it worked out perfect for Wolf. If you have never played Wolf, and you have an odd number of people, it's a fun, kind of a changing of doubles partners kind of game. And the guys we were with, good friends of ours, they kept figuring out like why the numbers never added up. They're like, no, he has -2 and he's got like -6. What? I'm like, it doesn't work out that way, guys. It's never. It's a points-based game normally, so I ended up losing a whole $1. Our good friend Tom Jenkins lost a couple bucks, 5 or 6 or something, and he played okay, and he was just on the bad end of some things in Wolf. So just it was a lot of fun though. I was excited to get out and play, and we might go out this weekend again. So
wow, must be nice.
It would be the 3rd weekend in a row. It'd be the record for me.
All right, Wolf. We'll talk about that later, what that means. But right now, we have our 2012 World Champion Sarah Hokum. Hi, Sarah.
Hey, everybody.
How you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. How are you guys?
Good.
Couldn't be better.
Yeah, it could be better.
Really?
How's our connection? Are we good?
Yeah, we look great. Sarah, have you ever played Wolf?
Cool. Yes, I have. That's super fun. Great for like 5 people or more, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. 5's kind of the magic number for Wolf, right?
Yeah, because if you're 4, you might as well play doubles. If you're 6, you're going to play doubles as well. 5 is really a perfect, so you have to have someone play Callie. So it's, yeah.
All right, Sarah. So before I even ask the first question about your sponsorship, I have to wonder, at any point, whether it's in your lifetime or as I get older and senile, will we ever start forgetting about when people won world championships, like the actual year? You'll never forget, right?
I mean, I'll never forget mine, probably, but you know, when it comes to when I count back the years and try to remember who won which year, it definitely is a little bit hazy.
Yeah. Who won 2015 FPO Worlds, Terry?
Where was it? I have to think,
that's your problem.
I have to think of the
You
year,
have to
where
think
it
of
was.
What was that?
Wait, 15?
2015.
Oh, wait, I was thinking 16.
See?
I have to think of the
location.
If you name the location, almost instantly I'll get it that much quicker. I don't think about it in terms of year.
Well, it was an odd year.
Oh, so probably Paige?
Probably
Right.
Paige. Other than 2017?
Yeah, was that Pittsburgh? Yeah, that was Pittsburgh.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
That was kind of a trick question because I threw an odd year at you thinking you were going to be able to nail it.
Oh, and yet so mean with Sarah here, right here in our presence.
Oh, but you brought up the conversation about forgetting people.
All right. It doesn't matter. Here we are. So, Sarah, big announcement, big news. Tell the world yet again if somehow someone doesn't know already. What do you got?
Oh, well, I am the newest member of Team MVP.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Nice having you.
Thanks for having us.
And we're done.
So, Team MVP. Now, well, let's backtrack.
Smaller team than most of our other major manufacturers.
You tell us, is it?
Yeah.
I mean, you're coming from Team Legacy. Yeah. How do the team sizes size up? How do they compare size wise?
I really don't know. Honestly, I think there's like 60 some members of Team MVP. So that's comparable to Team Legacy's crew that they've got going on there.
Okay, so the last few years you've been obviously with Team Legacy, and there was one or two discs were the exceptions to an all Legacy bag. Am I correct on that? There was just one or two?
Yeah,
I think of a Jokery.
For the most part, I threw the Jokery and the Firebird as my part of my open bag.
Yep.
And then at the end, I did start throwing the spin as I was kind of incorporating a spin putt back into my game.
Okay. So at what point for you were you thinking, I'd like to either try different plastics or, broaden my horizons? What were some of the things that were going through your mind as you were thinking about transitioning from one company's plastic to maybe exclusively to another company's?
A lot of my decisions had to do with less about the plastic and more about the company structure and the business philosophy behind the companies.
Okay, so with that, what is it that you found with MVP and Axiom as they kind of co-brand in those two lines, along with Streamline? What have you found about their business structure and philosophy that you've really latched onto?
Well, they have a really, really deep history in plastic molding, and the owners of the company are also trained in mathematics, physics, engineering, warehouse management, basically all the things that you need to put together kind of the perfect storm of disc golf companies. They're really dedicated to innovation in the game. In fact, they've been producing these overmold discs from the beginning, which they're one of the first people to come out with it. I know that's slightly up for debate, but they are the ones that have learned how to do it in a way that is cost effective and efficient for them. Essentially every time they mold a disc, they're molding 2 discs, but they're still able to keep that overmold price comparable to a solo mold.
Yeah,
so that's been really, really impressive to me.
I agree, and they have seemingly perfected all of that science behind the overmold, like you were just saying. And it's funny you said what you did about they certainly weren't the first to come out with overmolding, but it feels like they were the first to fully embrace and push it forward. And as you may have said or alluded to, there's debate about that. I know Dave from Gateway and I know Innova and others will argue about overmolding, and it's existed before, but these guys really took it and then
expanded a full disc line
went all in on it.
Yep.
So
and the exciting part about that is the gyro technology embedded within all of the discs that are overmolded, right? I mean, it increases the gyroscopic effect, which increases the length of the spin, which increases the distance and decreases the fade. You know, so you're going to find that because of that gyroscopic effect, you're going to have your discs are going to fly longer and they're going to go straighter.
Have you specifically noticed that with your new plastic versus some of your older discs?
Yeah, I do think I'm throwing much further.
So 500-600 feet we're going to see from you this year?
You'll probably have to give me a chance to work them in a little bit,
okay.
but
okay. So by end of year.
you know, I do expect to be able to get to some holes that I haven't been able to get to in the past.
Awesome. And now, I mean, inevitably somebody's going to ask, well, do they make you a backhand disc? Is there what have you gotten comfortable with? As I know you've been working on your backhand, but what have you gotten comfortable with when you're looking at the molds in terms of both forehands and backhands?
You know, there's no such thing as a forehand disc, which is also a misconception. You know, I think a lot of people when they found out about the move, they were like, oh yeah, like gyro MVP, they're all for forehand, and you know that's perfect for Sarah because that's all she does.
Yeah.
But in reality, you know, they have a ton of range of molds. You know, there's between the three companies, there's like 60 different molds to choose from in 6 different plastics. So, you know, you're really getting all the options, and you know, there's really a disc for anyone in their lineup, you know, all the way from really overstable, super fast, also understable, super fast, all the way to really, really, really slow discs that are also understable or overstable, a whole range of putters, and they're still going to come out with new stuff. You know, they're always developing discs, and they've got some really cool stuff in the works right now.
Well, a very wise man said many years ago, something along the lines of, we need more business people running Frisbee businesses or disc golf than we need disc golfers running Frisbee companies or disc golf companies. And it feels like these guys, and it's certainly not a slight on anyone that's obviously done the reverse, Steve Rico and Bamba and the entire Rico family are the definition of disc golfers turned into a business. But it feels like the MVP guys have very much had that philosophy. Like you said, their background in science, their background in efficiencies, warehouse, things of all that kind of stuff, 100% business-minded, and then it's like they almost, you know, stumbled upon or then fell in love with disc golf and then just took all of those things and applied it as opposed to the reverse. Is that a good way to put it?
Yeah, and honestly, it's not even a reverse. They also have the background in the molding with their dad's company's been molding plastics for 50 years. You know, so, you know, they have this, you know, they were born with plastic molding and then they studied all the things that go into plastic molding and all the things you need to understand lights and disc engineering and also for business development. And then they also fell in love with disc golf. So they're, you know, not only are they a family business and a family structure, but then they're also, you know, trained scientists and engineers. So that's just really impressive to me.
It is, because it's just that. I think so many of the people that are molding discs today or are in charge of molding, and this is going to be a generic statement of most of our disc golf companies, a lot of them are disc golfers that learned how to then mold discs and to tweak with it and to play with stuff. And they've molded, obviously, some amazing discs throughout the last 30 years, but that wasn't necessarily their background. And so now to see, like you said, trained, you know, scientists come in and actually apply, you know, that technology to it is awesome to see. And I think we're going to see more of that moving forward for sure. Now,
absolutely. I feel like the innovation that they're going to continue to have in the company is going to get better and better and better. You know, and had kind of a grassroots approach to the pro sponsorship. They really look for a lot of ambassador style players in their teams before, and now they're going to dip toes into kind of the more, and I think that's, you know, their business philosophy solid plan. Kind of opposite of what kind of Prodigy did to they've their way to grassroots distribution all